In the chilling Caisson's Ho installment, explorers plunge 7-foot caissons deep into the earth to find the elusive Chapelle Vault, a whispered legend that haunts the Money Pit area. The team then heads towards the eerie North Swamp, where they unearth wooden fragments and a shaped piece of timber. The team is left to wonder what the relic means and whether it could be a diamond or a remnant of the fabled Oak Island treasure. A new chapter unfolds at the Wash Plant area, a stone's throw from Smith's Cove and the Money Pit, where a modern beast of a machine roars to life. This upgraded wash plant promises to sift through the spoils of multiple caissons with ruthless efficiency, promising to reveal the secrets buried beneath Oak Island. In the lab, a clash of minds ignites as the team huddles with blacksmith Carmen Lega over an iron spike pried from beneath a rock on Lot 1. Lega claims it is an ancient handcrafted pin, possibly from before 1760. Emma Culligan, through her XRF analysis, reveals that the iron was tainted with manganese, suggesting a birth in the mid to late 17th centuries. Lega counters with a date etched in the early 1720s to 40s. The Money Pit pulses with ceremony as the team christens their first caisson, the True Believer. Rick Lagina delivers a soliloquy dripping with sentiment as treasure hunters first began their search. The team is now starting to piece together the clues and is zeroing in on something significant that could date back to the mid-70s. In conclusion, Oak Island is a complex mystery with a rich history and a mysterious past. The discovery of a gold-plated button in an untouched part of the Money Pit could be a game-changer, as it suggests that there was more going on at Oak Island long before treasure hunters first began their search. Gary Drayton and her excavation team are focusing on the Money Pit area on Oak Island, where treasure hunters have been searching for over 2 centuries. Their main goal is to locate the Chapelle Vault, a 7-foot-high, concrete-like container discovered over 150 feet underground by Frederick Blair and William Chappell. Despite numerous attempts, no one has managed to find the actual treasure. Recent tests and data suggest that the team might finally be close to revealing the island's biggest secret. Katya and her team began an ambitious project called TB1, a 7-foot-wide steel caisson drilled into the ground to find the Chapelle Vault. The team chose this location due to high levels of gold and silver particles in the water, old wooden tunnels, and a piece of wood marked with Roman numerals. They hope to drill all the way down to 150 feet, aiming to reach the same level where the Chapelle Vault was originally found. The team noticed that the caisson was going down smoothly, which raised 2 possibilities. The soil was soft, or they had entered an underground cavity. At around 95 feet, they believed they had passed through something hollow or weak. They found pieces of timber, short, cut wooden beams, and hand-cut, short, and waterlogged wood. These were the first physical signs of human construction at this depth in decades. At around 100 to 110 feet, the material coming up from the shaft continued to show signs of wood, suggesting they had hit the top or side of an old tunnel. A surprising discovery was a piece of wood with markings, including Roman numerals and dowel joints, which were the same type of construction used in the U-shaped structure found near the Money Pit. Katya and her team knew that these materials were not just luck, but they were built deep underground with serious tools, time, and planning. They reached 117 feet, and everything was pointing in the right direction, confirming their findings about the Chapelle Vault. The team was working on an excavation project on Oak Island when they encountered a subsurface failure. As the caisson neared 160 feet, they noticed changes in the ground beneath the caisson, which seemed to indicate a collapse underground. The soil around the TB1 shaft began to fall away, and a deep sink formed, indicating that the excavation had triggered a collapse. The team realized that the site was not safe and had to act quickly. The biggest concern was the oscillator, the heavy machine responsible for driving the steel caisson down into the ground. If the soil beneath the oscillator disappeared, it could have ruined the dig, destroyed equipment, or injured crew members. The sink around the shaft grew, and it became clear that the structure of the site had been weakened. The ground around the caisson had sunk by about 30 feet in some spots, raising alarms. To prevent further collapse and protect the machinery, the team had to adjust by backfilling the area and monitoring the situation carefully. This setback was costly and frustrating, as every day spent dealing with collapse and backfilling was a day not spent digging toward their goal. The timing made it harder, but the team remained determined to continue the dig. Despite the setback, The discoveries so far have revived some of the biggest theories about Oak Island. Some believe the team is close in on a centuries-old treasure tied to European explorers or hidden fortunes from lost empires, while others link the site to the Knights Templar or secret religious relics brought across the ocean. With each new layer uncovered, the clues suggest Oak Island's secrets might be older, deeper, and more complex than anyone imagined.
Traveled to Italy to consult Umberto Musa, a specialist in coins and artifacts from antiquity. He examined the coins and found Oak Island had some ties to the Roman Empire as well. This happened as a result of one of the coins being a Roman coin. Byzantine gold coins were weighed against another coin to determine whether or not they were genuine. Laird Niven's continuing drilling on Lot 5 resulted in their most recent finding. In the meantime, Rick kept searching for answers in the area known as Nolan's Cross, but for the time being, the group keeps looking into the enigmatic circular depression in the marsh. They discover ceramic shards and charcoal fragments that they surmise may be remnants of a cooking pot or a campfire. The lead artifact that was discovered in the swamp is examined by experts in the war room. They think it is a lead cross and that it was probably made in France. This could be proof that the French had anything to do with the Oak Island enigma. The group looked for tunnels beneath the garden shaft using a probing drill. They discovered a little quantity of wood that could be proof of a tunnel. This time, Gary Drayton uses a metal detector to check the recent spoils while the heavy equipment operator continues his work. Two substantial iron spikes that Gary immediately finds are both dated to the 1700s. If the artifacts are actually from the 18th century, the narrator speculates that Smith's Cove flood tunnel builders rather than the Truro Company, who built Shaft 5 in 1850, are more likely to have left them behind. Later that day, Marty Lagina and Craig Tester participate via Skype at the War Room meeting of the Fellowship of the Dig. The crew is informed by Marty and Craig that they just met Jeremy Church, a geophysicist working for Eagle Canada's seismic exploration business, who appears in Season 6, Episodes 1 and 3. The data from the extensive seismic survey of the eastern half of Oak Island that Church and the rest of the Eagle Canada team completed back in Season 7, Episode 6 has finally been analyzed. The information points to the existence of an anomaly at a depth of around 60 feet close to the southeast corner of the cave-in pit. The anomaly significantly resembles the Smith's Cove flood tunnel since it is linear and looks to be moving toward the money pit. Remember how GPR specialists Steve Watson and Don Johnston found several subterranean anomalies close to the cave-in pit in Season 7, Episode 2? One of them was located at a depth of 82 feet, and the other was located at a depth of 91 feet. Following exploratory drilling, it was discovered that 4 feet of sand were present between 99 and 109 feet below the surface. Remember to subscribe to the channel for more blues from the world of mysteries. Today, Oak Island is still a fascinating location where tourists may follow in the footsteps of the pioneers by exploring the money pit's depths and taking in the incredible find that permanently altered the course of history. The island serves as a reminder that there are still mysteries to be solved, secrets to be revealed, and treasures hiding in the most unlikely locations. Click on the video links popping up for more interesting content, and we will catch you there in a minute. The enthralling tale of persistent search culminates in a horrible final excavation that rewrites history and challenges the human imagination. Prepare to be astounded because reality is more magnificent than your wildest dreams. It's the Lagena brothers again. During the final phase of excavation at Oak Island, they made a terrible discovery with their crew. On the 140 acres of the supposedly cursed Oak Island, the Lagena brothers and metal detector expert Gary Drayton have primarily discovered clay, wood, and metal implements. But they have also discovered a number of rare artifacts. But what precisely are these insanity-inducing discoveries they make during the final Oak Island excavation? As we unearth each piece of treasure discovered in the final section of The Curse of Oak Island, the truth becomes apparent. When the excavation reached a depth of 190 feet, a subterranean vault that had been concealed for a long time was discovered. There was an overwhelming sense of surprise and disbelief. The group cautiously entered the room as their pulses raced in anticipation. Inside its dimly lit confines, they witnessed an extraordinary sight. In front of them was a glittering tableau of extraordinary wealth, comprised of piles of gold and silver coins, antique artifacts, and priceless diamonds. The treasure was quickly estimated to be worth billions, making it one of the most significant discoveries in history. The artifacts disclosed a rich history, connecting Oak Island to antiquity and validating long-debated hypotheses. As news of the discovery spread like wildfire, it attracted the attention of historians, archaeologists, and treasure hunters all over the globe. As specialists dedicated their time to discovering the treasure's origins and legends, Oak Island became the focal point of the investigation. The Lagena brothers have spent their entire 9-season tenure searching for treasures buried on the island by the Knights Templar, British soldiers, or even Spanish pirates. In the Season 1 finale of The Curse of Oak Island, titled The Find, metal detectorist Steve Zazulik discovered a 8-inscribed coin while investigating a swamp. Later, it was determined that it was a copper Spanish 8 maravedis coin from the 17th century. In the Season 2 premiere, Once In, Forever In, the coin was cleansed and examined, revealing that 1652 was inscribed on the reverse. Additional examination of the coin revealed that it had been lost in the marsh for hundreds of years and was not a recently deposited object. All indications pointed to the fact that this was a legitimate historical discovery, the first of many throughout the program. Could this inconspicuous copper coin be evidence of previously undiscovered pirate treasure? The Lagena brothers appeared to be on the right track in their search for Oak Island's concealed wealth. In the second episode of the second season, Return to the Money Pit, treasure hunter Gary Drayton discovered not one, but 2 distinctive treasures while metal detecting. He made his first discovery near Oak Island's shore. Drayton and his associates discovered a button from a 17th-century military officer's uniform, although it is unknown to which military it belonged. However, it could be evidence that the military was responsible for some of the confidential information on the island. In the interim, Drayton and his companions discovered their second find of the day in a nearby forest. A small coin that appeared to be a 17th-century maravedi similar to the one discovered in the season finale of the previous year was concealed in the soil. Compared to other coins, however, this one was substantially smaller, perhaps the size of 2 maravedis as opposed to 8. Even though they are small, these incredible discoveries may point to a larger treasure hidden on Oak Island. In the third episode of the second season, The 8-Pointed Star, Gary made 2 astounding scientific discoveries. This time, Drayton and his companions discovered 2 17th-century King Charles II Britannia coins buried beneath the pebbles and pyrite strewn along the coastline. One of the coins clearly displayed the year 1771 on its surface, indicating that they were centuries ancient. Where did these 17th-century coins originate? They may have been abandoned by treasure hunters in a hurry, or more fervently, could they have been abandoned on Oak Island by a wealthy gang that came there to conceal their loot? Undoubtedly, the Oak Island team would need to conduct additional investigation. Diver and treasure hunter Tony Sampson cleaned the coin and observed what appeared to be a cross pattern on one side. This peculiar cross may be the emblem of the Knights Templar, who established one of the earliest global financial systems in the 13th century. Could this coin have been used for finance by the Knights Templar? Who can say? What initially appeared to be the discovery of a small Spanish maravedi coin may in fact be a crucial clue